This is your daily news report and your third stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Wednesday, February 10th. More information is being revealed about the $1,400 stimulus checks. You will receive $1,400 for every qualifying dependent. This includes your children and adult dependents. We'll go over further details about the stimulus checks. The Democrats are moving forward with their plan to send money to parents on a monthly basis. They're also moving forward with their $15 an hour minimum wage. Yesterday, the Senate voted that it is constitutional to impeach Donald Trump with a vote of 56 to 44. Only 6 Republican senators voted in favor. Trump's attorney, Bruce Castor, is being criticized for having an opening statement that was a disorganized, rambling mess. Regarding Castor's performance, Alan Dershowitz, who defended Trump in his first impeachment, said, "I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea why he's saying what he's saying." According to the CEO of Johnson & Johnson, it is most likely that people will need to get an annual COVID vaccine. Medical experts believe COVID will become an endemic disease like the flu. That means that COVID is not going away and it will always be among us. So annual vaccinations may be needed to prevent another major outbreak. This is your Wednesday news, and I hope you're having a very nice day. Right now, the House of Representatives is writing up the rest of the stimulus bill. According to the latest information about the stimulus checks, you will receive $1,400 per child and $1,400 per adult dependent. The income limits for the stimulus checks, they remain unchanged at $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for a married couple. However, there is one important difference. Eligibility for the $1,400 stimulus checks will be based off your 2020 tax return. If you do not file your 2020 tax return on time, the IRS will automatically default to using your 2019 tax return. If your income is too high in 2019 to qualify, but you will qualify based on your 2020 data, then you need to file your 2020 tax return as soon as possible. If your income went up in 2020, where you will be disqualified, then you should consider filing later. The Democrats, they're moving forward with their plan to increase the child tax credit in order to send parents monthly payments. Normally, parents receive a $2,000 child tax credit on their tax return for each child under the age of 17. The latest draft of the stimulus proposal, they want to increase that amount. They want to increase it to $3,000 for children ages 6 to 17 and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. This will be a temporary measure as part of the stimulus plan. But progressive Democrats, they're fighting to make this a permanent thing every single year. Democrats are also fighting for the $15 minimum wage increase, which is included in the latest draft of the stimulus bill. But it will ultimately be up to the Senate parliamentarian to decide whether this can be part of the bill or not. Chuck Schumer confirmed that he is consulting with the Senate parliamentarian on whether or not the $15 minimum wage meets the guidelines for reconciliation. The Republicans, they are finding things to object to in the stimulus bill. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell met with Senators Rob Portman, Susan Collins, and Mitt Romney to discuss their own reconciliation strategy. Essentially, they are scrutinizing the stimulus bill and looking for things that they can get thrown out of the bill. If they make a convincing argument before the Senate parliamentarian, certain provisions may be removed from the stimulus bill. The Democrats, they need to make sure that Senator Joe Manchin will vote yes to the stimulus bill. Manchin is the only Democrat that might vote no. In order for the stimulus bill to pass, every single Democrat senator needs to vote yes, otherwise they will fail to reach the necessary 50 votes. So far, Manchin said that he opposes the minimum wage of $15 an hour, and he said that $11 an hour sounds more reasonable. I try my best to break all this down for you as straightforward as possible. If you're enjoying this news summary or finding it helpful, please subscribe and I'll keep you updated. I thank you so much for your support. In political news, yesterday, the Senate voted that Trump's impeachment trial is constitutional by a vote of 56 to 44. 6 Republican senators voted that the trial is constitutional, including Senator Bill Cassidy, who previously said impeaching Trump was unconstitutional. Cassidy said that he was convinced by the excellent arguments given by House impeachment manager Jamie Raskin. On the other hand, the opening argument from Trump's lawyer, Bruce Castor, was criticized by both the Democrats and Republicans. Republican Senator Susan Collins said she was perplexed by Castor, whose argument was disjointed and hard to follow. Each side will now have the next 4 days to present their case. The Senate Democrats, they will be arguing that Trump was directly responsible for the actions of his supporters during the DC riots. Up until today, at least 15 rioters have said that they were acting on Trump's instructions. One of these rioters, Garrett Miller, said, "I believed I was following the instructions of former President Trump. I also left Washington and went back to Texas immediately after President Trump asked us to go home." One of the rioters said that they would be willing to testify at the impeachment trial, but the Senate, they have not decided whether they're going to call on witnesses or not. However, Republican Senator Ted Cruz says all of this is just a formality because we already know how most of the Republican senators will be voting. Cruz said the result of this trial is preordained. Trump will be acquitted. Regarding the COVID-19 news, the Biden administration will be shipping vaccines to more than 1,300 community centers throughout the U.S. Many of these centers, they're located in areas where residents live below the poverty line. The White House COVID-19 response coordinator said their strategy is to reach everyone, including the underserved and people in rural areas. Vaccines, they're being delivered to major pharmacies, including Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. However, the vaccine shortage means that only a handful of locations will be receiving the vaccines. For example, CVS has 10,000 locations, but only 350 of them are accepting appointments. Unfortunately, the shortages, they're attracting scammers that are claiming to have COVID vaccines for sale. Many of these scammers, they just take people's money and run, but other scammers, they're actually causing physical harm. One example is a Facebook ad where someone was selling vaccines from the Chinese manufacturer Sinovac. Their vaccine is not approved by the FDA. The Department of Homeland Security says they're actively going after these scammers. In the United States, we reported 92,666 new cases and 3,031 fatalities on Tuesday. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. In current events, more information is being released about Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash that occurred a year ago. The pilot was legally prohibited from entering the clouds, but he did so anyways. This caused the pilot to experience spatial disorientation. Spatial disorientation causes you to lose the ability to determine angles, altitude, and speed, and it causes panic and confusion to even the most experienced pilots. After coming out of the cloud, experts believe that the pilot lost visual reference, which caused the pilot to experience an illusion where they incorrectly perceived the helicopter to be ascending when it's really descending. The pilot could not regain control of the helicopter in time, and then it crashed into a hillside. Analysis shows that there was no mechanical failures in the helicopter. 2 sanitation workers are being hailed as heroes after saving a 10-year-old girl from a sex offender. Sanitation workers Dion Merrick and Brandon Antoine were on their trash pickup routes when they saw a car in the middle of an empty field. They said that it looked suspicious, so they drove up and they blocked the car from escaping. A police officer responded and they discovered Michael Serrell, a 33-year-old sex offender with a 10-year-old girl that he just kidnapped. And I wanted to leave you with some advice if you're looking for a new job. Studies show that 58% of employers say it is important to send a thank you letter after an interview. Make sure that you send a thank you letter within 24 hours of the interview, and by doing so, you will stay fresh in the interviewer's mind. That's the news for today. Please subscribe. I thank you so much for your support, and I wish you a very nice day.